So I made $6.1 million for coaches, courses, mentorships, and just to prove to you guys I've actually been able to do this, here's some of the results of people that we've worked with, deals that we either consulted upon, done at a done for you level, or my very own coaching program where I collected $500,000 doing so myself with my own personal brand. So all the proof is here. If you guys want to go check out some of my other proof on my page, feel free to go ahead and do so. But here's the shit that I wish I would have known sooner as an agency owner. So this video is not for a fucking coach. This is for a growth operator, agency owner. There's just not enough content that talks about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and what it actually looks like to grow and scale the business. So I will talk about what it looks like scaling it to getting it to a point where I'm at today, where I'm making about $59,000, $60,000 per month with my agency, but what it actually looks like to get here and not be stuck at that 10 to 20K per month range where a lot of growth operators are at. So this video is going to be super tactical, super to the point, nothing to jerk off over. So first thing I want to talk about is going to be simplicity. Two parts in simplicity, because so many people overcomplicate scaling offers, even just building out their entire business. So when it goes to scaling offers, as you guys see here, learning how to think today and tomorrow is why I made $120,000. What I meant by that in that reel was specifically talking about pretty much a lot of guys overcomplicate what it looks like to scale an offer. As you guys see here, I've been able to go ahead and collect about $140,000 since the beginning of July for one offer. It's a tech sales offer that we're running. $5,000 is in Stand Store. And we only did this through two simple funnels. A contact list, so we had to go ahead and call up. So we had about 26,000 leads that this client had already before we came on. And we went ahead and created a whole outbound team to call them. Same with just DM setting. We've just been DM setting to get a bunch of book calls. Made about, out of the $140,000, about 40,000 of it is specifically from the DMs, but the rest of it's from that contact list. But do you see what I don't have? I don't have a crazy VSL funnel. I don't have a crazy webinar funnel, because so many guys will overcomplicate it, tell you to do these fun buzzword like funnels essentially, because either they want to sell an SOP on it or they just want you to do a lot of hard work that's not going to make you money. And I was in that situation. I remember with one of my first ever clients, his name was Jaden. I have a case study with him from back in the day. As you guys see though, with Jaden, I never focused on our DMs and I never focused on YouTube, which were the two levers I needed to push on that offer. Thinking back upon it, I could have got that offer to easy $100,000 a month just off those two things, because he had a good social media presence, but I wasn't focusing on that. I was just focusing on, oh, we should do a webinar. Oh, we should run ads. We should do all these fun things that everybody's telling me to do online. Instead, always just think about how can I make money today and how can I make money tomorrow. And another theme I want you guys to walk away with just knowing this is that every action that you take builds upon every single action. So a DM setting funnel is the best thing that you guys can immediately start off with if they have an Instagram, because with a DM setting funnel, it will scale as you scale. It's not like a funnel that you set up today and it won't work for you tomorrow. No, this is a funnel that makes you money fast today. So you have a fast cash velocity cycle, but then from there, it will continuously compound and get better over time. Same thing, if you guys wanted to do a webinar versus a DM setting funnel, how long will it take you to script out the webinar, get the webinar done, promo the webinar, versus you guys having a DM funnel initially and then having a webinar later on? At least for that tech sales offer, I'll show you guys this. What we're currently doing right now is we've dialed in the DM setting funnel and we've went ahead and dialed in that contact list. Now we have a VSL funnel that we've just brought upon and we're doing a webinar at the very beginning of August. On August 9th, we're doing a webinar. But we have been building a webinar for the last month pretty much. So I've had the webinar done, but it just didn't make sense based on the organic cycle that we had of promos, because we're just capitalizing on people in the DMs right now. But now we have a webinar and I'm going to test that webinar and I will have a working webinar every single month. But I didn't wait a whole month to get a webinar done and not make cash. I still made $140,000 off simple, boring funnels. And that's all that matters when it goes to scaling offers. Just scale as simple as possible, do things that make money today, and just continuously compound. When it goes to outreach as an operator, so many people overcomplicate it. I like to do this. It's called a sniper outreach method. I'm not going to say I'm the one who came up with this. It just makes sense. It's pretty much highly personalized outreach. Pretty much what I do personally, and what I'll tell all my consulting students to do, is find 20 ideal people you want to work with. And then what you're going to do is you're going to funnel hack them. So fucking revolutionary. You're going to funnel hack them, but what you're going to do is you're going to funnel hack them within a 48 to 72 hour time span. And you're trying to funnel hack everything. So think about this. If they have a VSL funnel, you want to apply for the application, but then don't book in a call and see what happens. Does the dialer call you to try and get you to book in? Is there any SMS flows? Is there any email flows? If not, you document all that, right? You want to have proof of concept. Then you wait about an hour and a half, hour later, and then from there, you're going to book in a call with different email, different phone number. You can use your friend's phone numbers to do this. And then you're going to funnel hack and see Well, is there call confirm emails? Is there a good post booking page? Is there going to be SMS flows? Am I getting triage? Am I? If not, you guys want to know all that down. But oh, Jake, I got triage though. But how good is the triage? How good is the setters? Because you guys might even think, oh, they have a sales team. I can't work with them. Fuck no. A lot of these people's sales teams are absolute ass. And you can call that out. I would funnel hack somebody. I would wait for someone to call me. I would have a Loom open and I would Loom the entire thing. And I could show that in my breakdown of how much their sales team sucks and why they need me to come and operate their entire thing. So it's pretty much you're doing a full audit. And you guys could do this for what, 10 people within 72 hours? You can easily just funnel hack a few people at a time. Just be open and be around for your phone. Or you guys could have like a other person do this for you if you have a partner, or if you guys have somebody working under you guys could do the exact same thing, like a copywriter, whatever that might look like. So stage one is you go ahead, find 20 to 10 people, and you do a full funnel hack audit. You can't tell somebody you're going to help them if you don't actually know what you can help them with. Then you are going to create a Loom, a 10 to 15 minute Loom, which is breaking down everything that is wrong. You want to show screenshots, proof, examples, genuine insights, and telling them like essentially you position yourself as an authority by showing all this. But the main point of this though, a lot of you guys get this wrong, and I hear it's like, Jake, well, you could just get all these fucking guys because you have all these fat case studies. Well, you don't really need case studies. I see a lot of operators who are scaling and just getting clients without having case studies because they understand loss aversion. If you're going to walk away with anything from this video, it's going to be loss aversion, because loss aversion, what I'll explain to you is that it's the idea of loss aversion and the sunk cost philosophy, meaning that people feel the pain of losing money much more than the joy of making it. So that's why we work with coaches who already have coaching programs. We don't publish offers. Majority of you guys don't even have the skill to do that, but only focus on people who you can go ahead and just find to have a coaching program, and you're going to figure out everything that they have wrong with it. Instead of saying, oh, I can help you do this, right? Because I have all these case studies. You're going to be like, hey, you're missing out on all of this because I pointed everything out. Your competitors are doing this, and now you show them exactly what they're missing out on. Then they're gonna be like, holy crap, boy, I don't have my SMS, I don't have my email flows. It's the same way that I actually signed Sharif as well, because Sharif, I was trying to nurture him for a few months. We met in person in Arizona, and from there I pitched him once and he just didn't bite on it, which was cool, whatever. But then I kept following up with him and I kept showing him everything that he had wrong. He was aware of what he was missing out on, but one day his funnel was completely broken. And then from there I was literally just on his page. I went on, took a screenshot, sent it to his phone number, and he's like, all right, bro, let's get on the call. And literally from there, May, we had a pretty good month. And then from there, June, we had 60,000. He was making about $20,000 a month. In May, we got everything going. We made like $30,000 in May, just like little ways of just calling up some old leads that we had, but we didn't have like a full outbound team yet. From there, we made $60,000 in June, and we're about $140,000 deep in July so far. We still have about 2 more days in a month, but that's all because I pointed all of this out. Even in person, I kept showing him the things that he was missing out on. I was making him aware of his pain. So that's whenever you guys do outreach and whenever you guys are making these Loom videos, you always want to think loss aversion. Let me point out what the competitors are doing. Let me show the screenshots of what you're missing out on, right? You guys want to show all this because then you make them hyper aware, and it just frames you as an authority as well without having results. It just shows that you know what you're talking about. So when it goes to outreach, you guys do that. Then you guys have your 10 to 15 minute Loom. How do you reach out to them? You reach out to them everywhere. Instagram DMs, which everybody does, but you still have to do just maintain. Facebook, school, Discord, email. You guys, like, so many of you guys just don't do email, and I don't understand why. I've had so many students just sign people from email. I personally had only 2 clients from email, but I know guys where their whole strategy is generally just cold email. It's one of the best things you guys could do, but a little hack would be LinkedIn. So if you're working in more of a like B2B offer, like a higher quality client where they're anywhere from like 25 to 30 years old or even older, you guys could go ahead, find them on LinkedIn and use Apollo to scrape and find their phone number and just cold call them. Just cold call them. At that point, you can easily just maintain contact with them, hit them with a little SMS as well, and you guys can send them the Loom video. It's one of the easiest ways. Like, hey, if I'm willing to do this for you, look, what do you think I'm willing to do for your leads? So that's going to be outreach simplified, as simple as possible. Then you guys would do it like this. Focus on about 10 to 20 people in a 7-day cycle. And if in those 7 days, let's say nobody answers, that's fine. We're going to throw them into our follow-up pipeline. So we'll go ahead, follow up. And then from there, we're going to do new 7 people. And then we're going to do that again. Then we're going to do that again. And then we're going to do that again. 10 people I met. But we're going to do it every 7 days. So you're going to be building up your follow-up pipeline. The best clients you're going to sign are going to be the ones in a few months because info is very volatile. 1 month, a client might make like $80,000 and you reach out to them, even though they have clear mistakes. They just got lucky that month. And now they're going to be like, yo, fuck off. Like, I don't want to work with you. I'm scaling. And then they're going to go down like $40,000, right? At this point, they might reach back out to you. And if not, worst case, at like $20,000. But let's say you follow up with them like 3 to 4 times a month. You're immediately going to be the number one option that they pick to go through moving forward. So that's outreach as simplified, as easy as possible. If you guys overcomplicate it, there's so many guys like, what do I say here? How do I do this? It's like these little tactics. That's all they are. They're tactics. This is like a fundamental strategy that you guys can apply. Sure, you can say certain things on Facebook, on Instagram, sure. But overall, if you just follow this and you have enough time within signing a growth operating client, well, it's pretty much like a 2 to 3 month time span. If you can't wait 2 or 3 months to sign a client and you need the cash, wait till I'm going to be talking about staying in business, but you probably should even be in growth operating if you need the cash that bad. Now, next is going to be skills that actually matter. So many of us talk about VSLs, talk about ads, talk about all these like funnel like things that you guys can learn. The only 2 skills you really need to focus on is going to be content, understanding it, and sales. I wish I would have known this way sooner because I would have made so much more money. When it goes to content for all of our clients, we handle all their content. So this entire YouTube channel that you guys see, we manage it completely. And sure, I'm not on a retainer basis, but I just understand that when it comes to my clients, they're very skilled at what they do. I work with people who make $40,000 per month plus at least as my clients. Is the bare minimum to work with me. And with them specifically, they know their industry. Sharif knows tech sales like the back of his hand. Luke knows cold email. But what they don't know is how to actually structure out the content and how to be able to say the same things over and over and over again without it sounding repetitive. To them, it sounds repetitive, but it sounds completely new to their audience. So we manage that entire process. As you guys hear, John, he's my creative director, and we have Dylan, who's the editing manager within my agency. We handle all this. We have a whole pipeline for this. Even then, I don't do word for word like scripted out videos, and this will be for both YouTube and IG that we'll do this for. We'll do a lot of high level ideation and outlines, but here's what an actual outline would look like for a YouTube video of mine for one of my clients. This is Caleb. He's a home services offer owner, and the honest truth about home services in 2026, what no one's willing to admit. I have a Loom video that goes ahead, breaks down everything that I wanted for this video. Even like I created this with AI, just I knew how his warehouse looked. I'm like, yo, I want you to create a video like this. So we have this kind of mood and atmosphere for the video. Here's just another picture of how to set up the softbox. But over here, as you guys see, I explained the whole idea of this YouTube video. Explain it is an in-depth level. And then from there, I have a video outline for him. Hook. Problem that no one's willing to admit. Now I break down those 3 problems, phase by phase by phase, and then CTA. He is an expert in his skill set. He knows what to say. I'm just giving him the outline to be able to say as well. So that's pretty much what it looked like on that content side. But if you guys can understand the psychology of a buyer, which you guys should if you are a high-level operator, you're pretty much doing the exact same thing for content for your clients. At least just what a VSL and the sales process will look like is what you're doing on the content side. So understand content because a lot of our clients just, if you can control that content side, you will make so much more money. And then sales. So this is going to be for my advanced guys over here and for my beginner guys. If you're a beginner, you should be taking the sales calls for your clients. That's an extra 10% that you could be adding on. And if that client, let's just say, makes $30,000 in a month, right? If you're a beginner and you have an extra 10%, so out of that 20, you add in 10% because you take the sales calls. Number one, you will have a higher close rate. It doesn't even matter if you're not that skilled at sales. Get skilled. You need to stack skills right now. But then on top of that, you will make $9,000 out of that $30,000. Guys, understand that if you're making this much, you're building hard skill sets, but based on what I'm going to be telling you guys here is actually saving up your money. You guys will put yourself in a position to actually scale your agency in the long term. For my advanced guys, for sales, it's by far, you have to hawk down every single lead. I think of it like this. I have 2 departments in my agency where I have my creative director, John, as you guys see here, but I have my sales manager, Austin. John is bringing us in leads today, and he's bringing us leads in tomorrow. That's his job. Make sure that we have leads. Then when it comes to Austin, his job is to hawk down every single lead that we have and get them either booked in, nurture them, or we're closing them. That is his whole entire job. So that's what you guys got to look at as sales. These are 2 most important skills you need to focus upon, like a VSL, being able to write insane copy, a webinar. Like, sure, you guys are going to add that stuff on moving forward, but if you just have good enough content with a really dialed in sales process, you will make money. If you have great content and a great sales process, you will make a fuck ton of money. Those are the only skill sets you need to focus on if you guys want to just be able to scale as fast as possible for yourself and for your clients. Now, staying in business. This is going to be one of the most important things you guys understand. Why do most businesses fail? Running out of cash, poor management. So as you guys see, running out of cash, bad cash flow management. That is pretty much 99% of operators I speak to. You guys need to go ahead and stack up a war chest. This is whenever I first stacked up my war chest. Me being able to have $43,000 when I was scaling my agency was the easiest and best feeling I've ever had. I wouldn't say easiest, but it's the best feeling I had because I was able to think abundantly. I didn't have to work with certain clients and take a setup fee with somebody that I didn't truly want to work with because I needed the money. Instead, I worked with clients I saw long-term potential with, because you might go ahead and get a $10,000 setup fee because you need the cash, but you're only going to make like $2,000, $3,000 a month from the client because they suck. And now from there, you're working with them for 6 months, even though you could have taken that same time and energy, find yourself a better client through outreach, and you would have made so much more fucking money. So you guys should all be stacking up your war chest. I tell this to everybody. Even if you're a coach, you should be stacking up a war chest, because you should never be at a point where you have to think about, I need money today to survive. You need to think at a high and abundant standpoint. So once you guys stack up your war chest, there isn't really a number that you guys need to follow. For me, my war chest before I started doing the 30-30-30 rule was $50,000 when I added this. But from there, after I had my war chest, what I do is I followed the 30-30-30 rule. Over here, this is what it would look like. I don't recommend this for everybody. Like, this isn't like financial advice. I'm not telling you guys that. This is just what I do essentially. If I make $50,000 in a month, I will go ahead and I have my baseline of $5,000, which is like team expenses, etc., salaries I have. From there, I will take that and I'll subtract this. I have $45,000 left. I will go ahead and for myself take away 20% for taxes. So $9,000 goes into taxes. I have $36,000 I can allocate. From this $36,000, 30% goes into lifestyle, which is going to be rent, which is going to be gym, which is going to be groceries. 30% goes into investing. 30% goes into business growth, and then 10% goes into LARPing. This isn't like exactly what you should follow, but I would say if you guys are at a point where like your lifestyle, let's just say you go ahead and have a lifestyle that's super low, like maybe it's only $3,000 per month. You don't need to do your full 30% on lifestyle. Like, you guys could take that an extra 30 or 15% of this and throw it into business growth. But that's the thing with growth operating. The way that this business operates is that our clients pay for majority. All you're really paying for is like mentorships and systems. That's all you're really going to be paying for. Later on, as you guys scale, like, you guys need to have cash on hand whenever you guys have like team members in place, like, you know, copywriters, VAs, or whenever you guys want to like hire contractors, you can say that. But then from there, this is just what I would go ahead and follow at a high level. I wish I would have known this sooner, at least, because at least this gives you an outline for what you should be looking to save your money up. And then you still have the ability to LARP. It's like, if you guys want to LARP heavily, make more fucking money. As simple as that. I think LARPing is one of the best things you could do, but you have to go ahead and actually have the money to do so, not taking out of what you should be investing onto the side. So have money for the long term, have money to reinvest back in business, and give yourself a lifestyle that you actually enjoy so you keep working every single fucking day. Now the third part, just don't be retarded and just follow what I said. You don't need to follow it to a T, but at least have an outline of what you want to go ahead and do, because if you can stay in business, you can stay in operating long enough. Because most operators, what happens is, because they don't have enough money, they are skilled operators, but they have to go do high ticket sales because they don't have money. Sure, anybody can go in sales and make money. Honestly, it's not a hard skill set. You have to go in high ticket sales. I remember once I almost had to do this. It was in the at the end of 2024. I was at such a down bad point that I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to go do high ticket sales. Luckily enough, I did not have to go ahead and do that. But most operators either have to do high ticket sales, or you have to go ahead and work for someone, work for an operator above you. And that, sure, you might make anywhere from like $8,000 to $10,000 per month. But let's think about it. You could go ahead and do $8,000 to $10,000 per month for one client versus you're managing a portfolio for somebody else. So sure, you guys could go ahead and build skill sets with that other person. But why go ahead and build skill sets if you could build skill sets on your own scale and your own offers, building your own business? Because when you do sales, you're building somebody else's business. When you work for somebody else, you're building their business at the exact same time. So that's what those are gonna be the 3 steps that like everybody should follow initially. And I'll just do a high level overview of scaling the agency. I'll make a more in-depth video on this, but a lot of operators don't even have an idea what it looks like to scale the agency, because nobody talks about this stuff, because Majority of people have never done this. But as you guys hear, stage one is you're gonna be that 8 to 15K per month operator. That's the whole goal, is you run the boyfriend model. You want to have a boyfriend at this point. Like me and Jonas last year talked about like, oh fuck the boyfriend model, don't do it. And at a certain point, we kind of like fucked up the perception on it. Like you should start off with a boyfriend model, because what it does is it allows you to make cash, but then learn hard skills. Like you should learn backend, you should learn sales, you should take the sales calls, you should learn marketing, you should write the VSLs, you should do everything. For about 3 months, you were just completely engraved in this person's business. Like growth operating is not a get rich quick. It's a phase by phase business model. And if you guys could do this, learn these hard skill sets and have one client, the big goal over here is you want to get a case study. As you guys saw Jones with Lucas, maybe with a few of my other clients, and we were able to take that Lucas case study and make hundreds of thousands of dollars in setup fees, number one, and make an extra $100,000 just through those rev share clients that we were able to bring in, specifically in that market. Like with the reselling, we owned that fucking market for a little bit just because of this case study. And that's something you guys could do. You guys could take a case study in a specific market and just take over the rest of the market if they are the industry leader. But most importantly is you guys want to be stacking up your bread. You guys saw what I talked about over here, saving up your money. That's all you do right now. Stack up your war chest and build skill sets, because you're in a position that it's just a time game at this point, right? Like you just have to learn the skill sets. And like if you guys are focusing every single day, there's no reason to look at other operators and see like guys like what I'm doing right now, what I'm making, and like compare yourself to me, because it won't help you. Just build up your skill sets and stack up your bread first. Stage two though is you're gonna be making about 15 to 20K per month. And your goal is secure a second client at this point. So you guys can go ahead and get a setup fee, like as you guys see over here. Get yourself a setup fee and understand how setup fees work as well. So many people just don't understand setup fees. Setup fees are not the main source of income that you should make as a growth operator. It is supplemental. It is a supplemental income, because you want to think about it like this. If you want to make $10,000 per month, at least for me per client, I want to make at least minimum $10,000 per month. So then what I would do is I know in the first 30 days, I'm probably not going to make that from that client. I might make anywhere from like 4 to 5K, but I'm not going to make $10,000. So what I will do is I will charge a $10,000 setup fee, as you guys hear for James, who's an ecom coach. I will charge this. So then by month 2, I can start getting there. But the setup fee is nice cash you guys can have on hand. It's a great way to pay your team as well in the beginning. But specifically though, it is not supposed to be your main source of income. It is very much supplemental. But during this whole entire process, in the beginning, we're building hard skill sets for our first client. But now with the second client, we're building systems and we're building a team now. Because now you guys are starting to realize that they're very similar things. There's going to be some very similar SOPs that you need to make. VSL funnels look the same. The type form is going to be the same for us. We realized that the Airtable dashboard was pretty much rinse and repeatable. So from there, we SOP'd certain things. So now we have the SOPs in the back end. And yes, you should invest in the mentors and coaches who have SOPs, but you still need to make yours that are very specific that you understand. So really the biggest difference here overall is you're learning hard skill sets here, and you're going to keep learning harder ones here, like more skill sets. But what you're doing is you're building your systems. At this point, you might even have a sales manager. But the big overall goal, guys, this is going to be revolutionary. It's the same fucking thing. That's all you guys do. Case studies. Get 2 case studies now and keep stacking up your bread. Stack up your war chest, 30-30-30 rule, and don't be retarded. At this point, you guys might like look to have $200,000 a month cash coming in. This might be like a $50,000 a month guy, and another guy might be like 150. It doesn't have to be directly like 100Ks. That will do better for the case study, but have those 2 case studies and just make sure that the offer's running smoothly. Like double down on these guys, because you will have consistent income coming in instead of like blowing up a whole portfolio for no reason. Because then you're going to split your focus before you can actually do that. Because now you guys have cash and you guys have money saved up. So now you guys can make investments like hiring a team. But now stage 3, this is going to be that third stage where you're at 30 to 50K per month operator. Internal team, you should have a sales manager by this point. You paid him 5% of your 20%. Copywriter, you're going to pay them on the salary. I pay my copywriter $3,000 per month and 10% agency profit share. So if my agency makes $50,000, he's going to go ahead, and that's profit. He's then going to go ahead and make an extra $5,000. Because of that, I have a VA that I have on a $2,000 per month salary as well from the Philippines, but they handle my entire back end. So essentially everything for like Airtable, not Airtable, we don't use that anymore, but Zapier, whenever we need to go ahead and build out dashboards. She will handle that. And say, let's say something breaks though, an automation breaks, like she'll go ahead and do it. She'll build out Discord channels for our clients, and we build out like client portals on softwares as well. So I like to add on as much value as I can. So there's a lot of like, there's not a set amount of things I need my VA to do, but just gonna be like, it's sporadic, right? It's like you're gonna need certain, like 1 week you're gonna need a lot of things. 1 week it's more of a chill week for them. So don't look at it, it's like, oh, do I need a VA still? Like, yes, you need a VA. It's just some weeks you're just not gonna have a lot of work to do, which means you should go ahead and get richer and get more work for them to do. Sales manager hires, fires, manages entire sales teams, as you guys probably know. Copywriter does all the copywriting for the clients. So that's gonna be the first part of this phase that you guys are gonna be doing. And now once you guys have that team, you can start doing portfolio building. So at that point, you're gonna start getting setup fees, as we already talked about how setup fees work. And then you're gonna get those clients and you're gonna scale them. Then you're gonna fire the bad ones. So then instead of having 7 to 8 clients, you're always gonna be hovering around 3 to 4. You just fire the worst one, that like the lackey holder at the bottom. You're gonna fire them, bring somebody up on the setup fee, scale that offer. So the way that the math will look like between phase 2 and phase 3 is that in phase 2, you're going to be making about $20,000 per month from a $100,000 per month client. From there, that's $40,000. You're going to give up 5% to your sales manager. So then they're taking $10,000, but you have $30,000 per month. That's where you can actually hit this goal specifically. But now you have the ability to go ahead and pretty much walk away making $55,000 per month without having to do any of the copywriting, without having to do any of the back end, any of a sales manager handling the entire sales management side. So you guys hear $20,000 for the entire sales management, which sales managers are the most, like, you guys really got to hone in and get a great sales manager and make them. That's what I did. My old DM setter, Austin, who used to be a growth operator, came in, was a DM setter for my coaching offer when I was running it. And then I just knew he had the ability to be a great sales manager. And that's essentially where I've just been molding him into that. And he's absolutely phenomenal. Like, Austin, if you're watching this, I fucking love you, bro. But on top of that, you guys have now the ability to actually scale in growth operating. Like, this is where now you could think about creating like any kind of build and release program. You guys could think about selling consulting at a higher level, which is kind of what it looks like with growth operating too. I add this as like a little side note, is that if you guys do all this and you guys post content, you're undoubtedly going to have operators reach out to you to want to learn from you, and you can go ahead and license your systems to them. But remember, licensing shouldn't be the end all be all business model. That's not what it was for us. We did $500,000 with it, as you guys see here, but it wasn't the end all be all business model, because at the end of the day, it's very supplemental. Same with setup fees. All this is supplemental. The main goal should be having rev share clients that are anywhere making you $20,000 to $25,000 per month. And by having that, you guys will absolutely fucking cook. So that's pretty much the overall breakdown. If you guys have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Get to fucking scaling. Peace.